That's a big sound. Freaking big sound. Choke by The Warning is definitely one of my favorite songs by the band, mainly because it elicited a huge emotion out of me. And it's a very relatable song talking about when you're just flooded by an overwhelming amount of emotions all at the same time. That can be very emotional. Thank you all for voting on which song I should break down. But since it was such a tight race for the voting between this song and Revenant, I'm definitely going to do both. So I will get working on that other one as soon as possible for you guys. And now I want to read off a quote that was said by The Warning about this song. So The Warning themselves said the song was born in 2019 while Danny, the singer, showed Powell, the drummer, a melody and some lyrics that she had. Then Powell proceeded to take that melody and jammed with it on the piano with the idea to express a certain feeling of tension and helplessness throughout the music and lyric. You could definitely feel that through the song, and while we're breaking it down, I'll show you where those moments are. Finally, the three of us got together and worked on the bass, guitar, and drums, and since we are very opinionated, we are present throughout all of these details and little arrangements. So this song is in half-step tuning, and it starts off with this really hooky, catchy lick that really brings you in, but also not just the hook of the guitar that brings you in, it's the vocals and her ringing out the chords in the beginning that also get you to like pay attention, and all of a sudden you have this badass riff that comes in where and I love that because she adds the flair to the riff. She's not just playing it straight. This is how it would sound if you played it without any vibrato going on it. Vibrato meaning like this. She makes sure she adds that emphasis to get you really hooked. It feels more badass compared to if you played it like this. It feels weird. But yeah, she puts that like mean feeling, and you can see them having fun in the music video while they're going off. And it's just a really cool riff. Sometimes the simplistic stuff is like the kick-ass stuff because they play it with conviction, and that's really important. This song is very emotive vocally. The vocals really carry this along with this very solid foundation from everything else. I love that they open up with the vocals because it's like bringing the attention to those lyrics right away. Matter at all. Her vocals are so good. This is like my dream vocal recording to mix. It'd be so easy. You can tell that she's hitting these notes perfectly with thickness and fullness. This is one of my favorite parts of the band. I love the music too because the music complements her perfect, but that's the thing that I really love about this band. Now, let's go ahead and check out what she does for these verse and how these backup vocals come in also afterwards. Now, I'm assuming all the sisters are doing backups with her, but there's definitely extra layers of Danny's vocals also on here. We have like a little bit lower of an octave, a little bit higher an octave going in there. I can hear Powell's vocals also in there. Right there in the chanting. I think in the music video, you can see her singing along too with it. It's overpriced, but right there. And I just love how it sits in this mix perfectly. You have it panned to each side to give the fullness and range. So it just creates this even more thick style vocals. And another reason why I love vocalists that are this good is they create the thickness with their voice already, so it makes it very easy to widen it further, meaning, you know, filling up the sound spectrum. This is why they can pull it off with only 3 instruments, because if the vocals are not really doing it, it's a little bit harder to do a 3-piece like this. But since you have all 3 of the girls singing together, that really helps out. And then you have Danny, who is an amazing vocalist on top of that. It adds to it. It helps it be full. If this was a little weaker on the vocal side of things, this would not work as well. And it might just come across as an average song, but everything is just executed perfectly and written out perfectly. But let's go ahead and take a look at how the drums and the bass really line up with each other. You can hear Alejandra nailing these fills in between like perfectly on time. You can hear the snap of that snare. It's so solid. Drifting out of trust, slipping down my throat into my lungs. They got Powell coming in with those ghost notes, creating some more movement. But you can see how, like, with that main riff, it's very steady, in your face with power. You can't be playing that weak. Again, if you're not playing something like this that's more on the simplistic side with conviction, it will not come through well. And they do play with conviction on it. Now we're gonna go ahead and look at like what Alejandra does very well. She's always in the pocket all the time, pal, perfectly done, and then she slides in these fills that are just perfectly played. Moving up. I love that because she's playing it in a higher octave and then she goes to a lower octave, getting ready for this pre-chorus to come in.
Wear your tears like jewelry. That vice is overpriced, but artist.
We have the bass starting getting a little busier right here. And then bam, right in that chorus. So that is really important to have that very solid before entering into this chorus. The other part vocally that I really love is how they mix all these layers later on in the song, because they come back where it feels like the drowning part is happening, I guess you could say. It's so cool. You can hear Danny has a distant vocal off in the background, and it has like a very, we call it a plate reverb. Sounds like a heavy plate reverb, and she's singing a little bit off to give it that depth and that feel of like being in the background. If you put that reverb up a lot, you get that like underwater effect, you know? Lots of doubling up of vocals for the background. Sounds so good. So good right there. You can hear her going, ah! That's really cool. I never even noticed that before. So this is my first time realizing that she's doing that layer in the back. That's so cool. I don't even have the guitars selected right now. Listen how heavy that bass and drum sound is. That's not even with guitar, guys. That's just the bass and drums going on right there. Oh, so good. I love this song so much. Let's just check out how she escalates her vocals right there.
Let me dive in, sinking deeper, push my head, jump until I drown.
And then the group vocals come in right when she's in. I'm butchering it. You guys get what I'm saying. It's so interesting too how she ends with that low note. I think that is perfect. A lot of people would just end on a high note. She ends with this like low note. Like this is serious shit. You know? That's really cool. And then of course they end this song with going back to that hook or that riff that catches you in the beginning. Listen to the power of those drums right there. That's a big sound. Freaking big sound. I love it. Ah, so good, so good. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this breakdown. If you want me to go into anything in further detail, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Check out other breakdown videos right here, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See you.